We call out to him, not as Adonai in that case, not as Elohim in that case. We say, oh, Elkanah, Nikam, avenge me, Riv et Rivai, dispute my arguments, Lecham et Lechomai, like the psalmist says, fight my battles. Oh, Elkanah, jealous God, because he is jealous for us, just like a husband is jealous for his wife when someone abuses her or does something bad to her, and he wants to protect and avenge the wife. That is how God feels for us, and so it is appropriate to call out to this title, Elkanah. Beautiful. So, very nice, guys. Good job connecting the text. So, in this case, that we kan o. What's the o tell me? Whose jealousy? Whose zealousy? His. Exactly. Be'emet or tama. This is your pronominal suffix, meaning nya. Jealousy nya is jealousy. And then what's the bait? What's the bait? Tell me.
In.
Yeah, yopi. That's right.
Jealousy. It's more of with.
Yeah, with is probably better. Yeah,
jealousy.
that's right. That's right. Probably with.
With is
Very
jealousy.
nice. Very nice. It can be either way. Either way, we can say in, we can say with. Right? That's good that you're thinking that way. Bait oftentimes express.
Rabbi,
Yes.
can we add by being right? That
You want to say by his jealousy?
by being zealous.
Yeah, I think in
Yes.
this case in English that's fine. That would express the concept. Sure. And just remember what Dr. Vera is saying is that it can also express what we call the accusative of means. This is actually a case that is being expressed. So by is fine because that we say that in English. The accusative of means in English we can say by. Like, by my pride, I will not allow this, right? Or by my oath, I will strike you all down, right? So that's correct. That's also accusative of means. You can say by in that case, yes. With, by means of, with his jealousy, or in his jealousy, et kinati. Okay, what do we got over here? What is kinati? My jealousy,
My
right?
jealousy.
Okay, so everybody's following. I heard that Yomar, with many of you, has been refreshing you on the pronominal suffixes. So that's good. So let's just colorize here. You see the yod? That's the my, isn't it? Okay, my. And then we have kina with a hey. This is the feminine form of kana. So kinati. So this is God saying my jealousy, my zealousness. Betocham. Okay, what is the suffix on betocham, and what does it mean? I'm coloring it in red.
Them.
Second person
Them.
plural. Then.
No, not second person. Someone said them. Them is correct.
Plural.
Third person, right? Third
Them.
person,
Them.
diba?
Third person
Yeah, third
person
person
plural.
plural, correct. So them, right?
Masculine.
Okay, or theirs, them or theirs, like that. Okay. So this one, this what's another way that the text could have written it? Instead of betocham, how else could we have said the exact same meaning? Betocham. What suffix could I put here?
Etken.
Oh, that's true, but I'm going to keep the betoch. Keep betoch and put a different suffix on it. What other suffix can I put there?
Is it possible betoke?
Say it louder, Ate.
Betoke. Betoke hem.
Yes, betochahem, or betochem. We could have done the other suffix that means the same thing. Hem. Very good. Hem. And I think modern Hebrew has dispersed with this one. They don't like it. They don't use it anymore. But this is a synonym. It means the exact same thing. If you're not familiar with the alternative pronominal suffixes, I made a video about this on the YouTube channel, specifically about the alternate suffixes, right? So you have the normal ones from our class, and then the alternator covers the hem and these other things. You can see it in the language snippets if you want. Okay? It doesn't have a number. Anything that's basic just has a number in front of it. If it's not basic, it's something you guys might be struggling with, there's no number. Okay, that's kind of the method to my madness on how that stuff is organized. Okay, so, and then we have be, right? We have another be there, right? So, be, to, kam, very good. In their midst. Anybody have any questions? You guys okay? Everybody's with us so far? I'm going slower than I do with the normal the normal aliya yomis because we've got class. Here's an opportunity for everybody to chime in and work on it together. Betoch, toch, just a little trivial thing. Does anybody know the absolute form of toch? This is the construct state of toch. What is the absolute, the dictionary form?
Taveh.
Yeah, yofi, very nice.
Taveh.
Taveh,
Taveh.
good guys, very good. Taveh,
Taveh.
very good. Okay, it's okay if you don't know that, everybody. That was just a trivia thing. Velo chiliti. Velo, what's velo?
And
And not.
I didn't
Good.
destroy.
Yeah, that's good. I didn't destroy. I didn't wipe out. Right. So the verb is kala. Exactly. So what is the
Kala.
classification of this verb? What would we call it? A lamed what verb? Lamed hey, exactly, right? So the hey we see has become a tav, right? When we put the ending on that. Okay. So this word kala means to finish, right? Kind of like in English, sometimes you'll hear Americans, if they're about to fight, two guys are about to fight, if one guy's really angry, he'll say, I'm going to finish you, right? With very angry look in the eyes. That's when you run. If the guy's bigger than you, I'm going to finish you means he's going to kill you, right? Or at least you're not going to walk again.
Rabbi, is it the same word as Genesis 2? Vaychulu? Vaychulu hashamayim ve'aaretz vechol seva'am. The heavens and the earth were completed. Is it the same?
Let me think.
Vaychulu? I think it's Genesis 2.
Let me have a look. I'll have a quick look. Genesis 2. Okay, do you know the...
I know that.
Let me see. Genesis 2. 2, do you know the verse? 2, later in 2, earlier in 2? Let me see. Let's just jump 2.
Verse 1.
Oh, okay.
Vaychulu.
Oh, right. Right. He completed.
Vaychulu.
Let me think. Okay, I'm looking at it. I'm looking it up.
Finish or
Let's see,
completed?
Vaychulu hashamayim. Yes, but that is in a different binyan. Yes. Yeah, it's a different.
Okay.
And actually, I think this might be a homograph. Let me think. Because you're right. Kala can mean to complete, and it can also mean to cover. I'm trying to think what else. Yeah, and this one that we're looking at here in our text is actually in the PL form, right? So you have kind of an intensive meaning. So yeah, that's interesting. Maybe they're connected to complete. I know there's different homographs. Let me click on it and see. Yeah, there's Kala 1 and Kala 2, right? So the first one, the one that you're talking about there in Genesis, that is actually more leaning towards completion, isn't it? And then the one we're looking at here, I think this is Kala, it's a later one, but they're written the same. And so we actually have finish, right? But if you think about it, there's a logical connection from to complete and to finish, isn't there? They're kind of the same progression, the same idea. It's just how you use it. Is everybody still with me? Everybody, nobody's having internet problems? You're all good? That is a nice observation, Yomar. I love the connections. Very good, Baruch Hashem.
So Rob, it's taken a video games na, like na Mortal Kombat.
Yeah, exactly. Finish him.
Yeah.
Right. Kileoto.
I've encountered Kala also in Psalms 91. I'm trying to look what is that specific.
Good. You'll see this a lot. The thing is, you cannot always identify it as Kala with a hey, because there's also a Kala with the yods, right? But then it looks like it has a hey later on, and there's Kala with an aleph that actually also conjugates the same. So sometimes you have these other words that look the same in many of the forms, but they're actually different verbs. So it's sometimes hard to identify that. So yeah, nice question. Very nice connection there. You guys see what's happening? He's connecting the verses that he has in mind from other places. That's really good. Okay, so velo chiliti. So I did not, and I'm just going to be hyper literal, finish et bnei Israel, the children of Israel.
And the people of Israel.
That's right. The children of Israel, I did not.
In my own zeal. We cannot be
Yes.
in my own zeal.
Exactly. In my zeal, or with
people or
with my
children?
zeal, like his zeal.
And the people of
His zeal
Israel.
might be the thing that would
My own
It
zeal.
could even be by means of my zeal.
Rabbi,
Yes.
Is it children, not people?
Yeah, children.
Not people, because I'm Israel,
Yeah,
is
that's
people
right.
of Israel. This is
You're correct.
the name.
Yep,
Okay,
children of
yeah.
Israel better.
Not
Yep.
people.
Children of Israel, very good. And then we have also our suffix right there. I'm not going to bother to mark the yod here. Okay, everybody with us? Any questions? So Rashi actually adds to this. Rabbi Rashi adds that he adds to the thought that because of Pinchas' passion, that really we should view it as his jealousy. Like, remember I mentioned about the husband being jealous for the wife, right? The text it seems to be hinting more about this aspect of the word, this nuance, and that's how Rashi sees it on. Because of Pinchas' jealousy, he was jealous. He was very jealous, lema'an shemi, for the sake of my name. And so, to be quite literally, he acted jealously. He acted out of my jealousy. That is to say, he took my revenge. He killed the man who tried to kill my wife, right? He displayed the anger that should have been displayed, right? The word jealousy, you guys understand, it indicates a burning with anger to get revenge. This is the Hebrew meaning of the word, according to our sage Rashi. It's a burning anger in a person when we're talking about jealousy, right? And remember, folks, in Hebrew, there is no separate word for zealous. Zealous and jealous, it's the same word. There's not a dichotomy between those two things. To us, it's the same thing. So to be zealous for Torah Hashem, you're jealous for it. It bothers you. It makes you angry when you see other Bnei Israel worshiping an idol, or doing some stupid stuff, or going against his law, right? It should really stir us up inside. It should bother us. That's the kinat Hashem, right? Or kinat Torah. Okay? Any questions? And by the way, you made exactly the right connection, guys. When you mentioned the Aser Davarot, Ibn Ezra points out the exact same connection. So he zones in. Ibn Ezra often likes to do this too. He does a Gezerah Shabbat somewhere else. He connects, and we use this to illuminate the text. So just as Adonai Eloheinu is Elkanah, so too he expects us to act zealously for him. And we could even extend this, saying, as the bride of Mashiach, right? Okay, let's continue on here into verse 12. Who would like to read verse 12? Just jump in and read. Someone who didn't read yet.
Therefore say, Rabbi, therefore say.
That, yeah, you can translate like that. Yes. But I want somebody to read the Hebrew.
Rabbi, that's
Alma, what? What's your question, Tom?
what's that? It was emor and lemor. It's laken.
Okay,
emor.
so emor is a command. This is the imperative. It's hard to recognize because this is what we call a pay aleph verb, and they're kind of tricky. We haven't covered these yet, this particular paradigm, the way the vowels change. But you'll learn to recognize this is a command. So emor means say, exclamation point, you see? Say, like go tell it. You understand? He's saying, do that.
Rabbi, I think this is the one of the parasha.
What's that?
Parasha Emor.
Yes. We have a.
This is Leviticus.
Yeah, we have a parasha with the same.
Parasha
Yep,
Emor.
exactly, with the same verbal form there. Yep. Very good. Okay, so let's see. Someone who has not yet read, can someone read? Maybe one of the ladies jump in and read verse 12 for us.
I'll try, Cynthia. Laken emor himi noten lo et beriti shalom.
Good. Very good. Nice. Okay. So lachen, just like Tom said, means therefore. This word can mean a lot of things. It just kind of depends. Like it can be like because, assuredly, therefore. More often than not, probably therefore. What else can it mean? Like in return for something, it can mean that, right? In return for
someone, Rabbi.
Go ahead.
Someone, akin.
That's alken in someone, right? We say alken. Yeah.
Alken.
Very close. So it might even be that lachen formed from alken, like a shortened form, like a contracted form. That can happen. Although ayin is less often willing to leave than aleph. Aleph will disappear a lot of times. So yeah, that's an interesting look. Are you an audio learner? Like, are you more audio? Like, do you learn best by hearing things, or are you very visual? You like to do colors and stuff like that? I'm just curious, Yomar. Yomar, hello.
Sorry, Rabbi.
Are you
Come
more of
again?
an auditory learner or a visual learner? Like, do you learn more by hearing things, or do you learn more by like using pretty colors to write them out?
By reading,
Reading.
Rabbi. By reading.
Okay.
By
Because it's
reading.
interesting to me that was an
Muslim
auditory
mother for
connection there. Okay. Okay. Good. Okay. Lachen. I'm trying to over time learn how all of you learn best, right? So, lachen emor. Therefore, say. Okay. Say command form. Okay. What does hin ni mean? Hin ni. Hin ni.
Behold, I.
Behold.
Kine,
Kani.
Yeah, that's
behold,
right. Behold.
Behold,
behold,
Behold. I. So we have a suffix on there, don't we? We have a
I.
suffix at the end. Let me. I want to make it red so we're consistent. Okay, so the yod is our pronominal suffix. There it is, right? You know your suffixes. You should recognize that yod, right? So that's first person singular, right? Like I, me, etc. Okay, so and hine, exactly right. Hine is one of your vocabulary words. Hine means behold, behold. It's delaying my writing because of the internet. I write the letters and then they show up. Okay, behold. Or I actually usually translate this something like look, look, check it out. In modern English, you could say check it out. Look, look. Okay, pay attention. The word doesn't really translate so great into English, but it's like it's an interjection that we don't have. So, behold, I notain lo. What's that mean? Notain lo.
I
I,
give. I'm
I am
giving.
giving
I'm
not
to
giving,
give,
him.
right?
not,
I'm giving.
not,
Go ahead.
I'm
not,
giving to him
Active
my covenant.
participle.
What's the question, Ate? Go ahead. I heard a lady's voice with a question. Go
isn't
ahead.
that Natan lo, not give?
Yes, natan is give, exactly. It can be give or it can be set or place, right? Now, yes.
Rab, may I ask the word before that? Isn't that hineni?
Okay,
Because there's a
great
ref
question.
under the
That is a
secondum.
great question. Okay, this is an advanced answer. I hope you don't mind. So, this word changes pronunciation. Sometimes it's hini, right? This is actually the normal form. And sometimes, if this word gets etnachta, you see this guy, where's an etnachta? Okay, you see here? See where I'm drawing on the screen? You see the little wishbone accent mark? You see it? That's
Yes.
etnachta, or other traditions call it etnach, right? So when you have that accent mark under it, or the one we call siluk, right before the sof pasuk, this one over here. I'm going to circle, look over here, see shalom? See shalom? If one of those two accent marks are under it, says so you've asked
Yes.
an advanced question. If one of those two accent marks come underneath, they will connect where the schwa is under that syllable, and those are the strongest accent marks. Those two, etnachta and siluk. Okay, so what it means in ancient times to facilitate memorization, certain words had stronger pronunciation in the sentence, right? So in ancient times, the way we would have read this verse 12, it would have been like lachen emor. You see, we got atmachta right there, right? Atmachta. Lachen emor. Hinni noten lo et briti shalom. I mean, I'm over exaggerating, but there's a little bit of a rhythm there, right? As you go along. For that nakta and the suluk, they're a little bit louder. Just like in most languages, one syllable in the word gets the accent, just like it does in Hebrew. But Hebrew goes a step further so that certain words in the sentence get a stronger attention than the rest. And when that happens, we get compensatory lengthening. The grammatical term is called pausal, or the word is in pause. Different grammars, they call it different. Some will say it's pausal, some will say it's in pause. So when hini is in pause, that is to say it has an etnachta or a saluk accent mark under it, the vocal schwa lengthens to segol. And so it says hineni. You see? And it just so happens
Okay.
that the famous text
Okay.
you're talking about, right? When God says, Avram, and he answers, Hineni, it's kind of the climactic part of the verse, and so it's getting that extra accent. Okay, nice question. You understand? Sure.
Thank you.
Teacher,
Yeah. That's just our
yeah.
diaspora Jewish tradition. Big wrong. Go
Question.
ahead.
Yeah. Is the regarding the pronominal suffix like ineni and
I'm sorry,
kiniti,
talk louder. It's hard for
is
me to hear you,
the, for
Karak. Can
example,
you
in
lean into the mic?
yeah, is that yeah, is that, for example, in kinati, the tab there is that part of the pronominal suffix or is that part of the
Okay,
construct
so you're
form?
asking about the suffix, the E. I'm circling it in yellow right now, you see? Kinati, that's what you're asking about,
Yeah.
right? Okay, so that is the suffix, but the technical rule, which I mentioned, but I didn't make you memorize this. This is getting a little bit deeper in the grammar. When you attach a suffix to a word, you first put the word into the construct state, and then you put the suffix on the end. That's the morphology. That's what's happening under the hood. Okay, so kina, it's kina with a hey. Okay, but when I want to put a suffix, I put kina into construct, or if you Hebrew grammar, it's called smicha. I put it into smicha, so kina becomes kinat, right? And then you put the suffix. Okay, that's a good question.
What about the what about hindi? The noon is that part of the pronominal suffix? The noon in hindi.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Yes. Yeah, but this is. Remember, I mentioned earlier how in Greek and Hebrew and other languages we have um, connecting consonants and connecting vowels. Oftentimes, again, this is an advanced concept. Oftentimes in Hebrew, we will insert a noon to make the word more pronounceable, right? And so in this case, you do have hine, but you're right. Instead of saying hinati, we say hinani, right? And most grammars, they'll just tell you, no, that's the form. You just memorize it. That's a separate word. Hinani is different than hinacha, etc. Okay? But really what's happening under the hood, since you're asking, the morphology is we use many languages. Greek does this also. Uses the letter n to make a word go more smoothly. So that's why there's a second noon there. Okay? Just to make it more pronounceable.
Because we in the verb, yeah, because in the verse like amarti, the tab there is part of the pronominal suffix for first person, not a part of the construct
Well,
form. Or amarti, shamarti.
technically in verb forms, if we're not adding a suffix, right? If we're not adding an object to the verb, okay? So amati, in this case, that is just part of the verb conjugation, right? It is true that it looks just like the phenomenal suffix, but we don't really think of that as a suffix because I can put a suffix on a verb, and oh, here's a great example. You're going to see I'm going to need an N sound, okay? Check it out. Okay, alzafta. What does alzafta mean? I'll write it on the screen. Ayin, Zion,
You forsake, you
yeah, to
forsake.
forsake. Oh, it's not writing it. The internet's not keeping up. Ayin, Zion, Vav. It looks terrible because I couldn't see what I was writing. Okay,
Bake.
so azafta, you're exactly right. That means you
You
forsook,
forsake.
you abandoned,
You
right? You
forsook.
abandoned, didn't you? Okay, so what if I want to say you abandoned me? So the suffix is e, right? The pronominal suffix is e,
Sub.
right? Okay, but I
Yeah.
have to make it smoother in pronunciation. So I need this advanced concept. I need the n sound, just like Greek does. Other languages do this too. So now I'm going to add a noon here. It's not a suffix. It's just to make it easier to attach the suffix. Okay, so that's supposed to be a noon. Not great. Imagine that's a noon. Okay, and now I'll change it to red since we've been doing suffixes in red. Now I can put ni. So what does azaftani mean?
Why did you forsake
Yeshua
me?
That's
said
right.
that.
Ah, my slide
Forsake
changed. Hold
me.
on.
Yeshua.
Exactly. Well done, everyone. Hold on. Sorry, the slide is going the wrong way. Come back to us. Come back to us. Come back to us. One more. Come back to us. There we go. Exactly. You all got it. So I'm putting the suffix on. Oh, it's in green. I wanted it to be in red. Ugh. Christmas colors. Just kidding. Ugh. Red. Okay. Pretend that yod is red. I'm trying to make them red. Exactly. So that's the pronominal suffix. The pronominal suffix is actually the yod. Okay? So if I say azavti, That is not the pronominal suffix, because I can say, I forsook you. I can say, azavticha. I abandoned cha. Azavticha. The cha is the pronominal suffix, not the yod in azavti. You understand that? Okay, great.
Yep.
So look how advanced you guys
So Rabbi,
are. This is
so
modern Hebrew can't do this, by the way. You can't stack up verbs beautifully like this. Yeah, go ahead.
Rabbi, so the ni is the short form of ani,
The noon. It's just
like
what
ani.
is called a connective morpheme. Okay, that's the grammatical term. It's just something that's shoved in there to make it easier to attach the suffix so the word flows nicely. Because think about it. Azav ta'ai. I can't say azav ta'ai. We don't do diphthongs in Hebrew. I can't put the yod here, can I? I can't put it in. It's unpronounceable. Azav ta'ai. Right? That sounds weird. So instead, we put another consonant in.
Yes, Rab, I always encounter that on when I read the passage in the like in
Uh-huh.
Isaiah, shelachani. The word is shalach,
Yes.
but there's a ni, shelachani
That
lachvosh. Isaiah
that
61,
yeah,
shelachani
yeah.
lachvosh lenishbere.
That's great if it helped you to remember it that way. But it's really not what's going on. We have this noon. Actually, the
Mm.
technical name. Okay, so it's a morpheme. It's a connective morpheme. But the specific noon is called the paragogic noon. If you want to look that up in grammars, paragogic noon. Okay, maybe I'll write it down since you guys are showing interest. Paragogic. Okay, it's not writing on my screen, so hopefully it won't be too sloppy. Paragog. Wait for my G to show up, and then I'll write the rest. Come on, G, show up. Really? Should I have faith that the G is going to come, or do I try to write it again and risk messing up the G? Okay, that's how bad the internet is right now. Paragogic noon. It's the paragogic noon. Okay, and when it stands by itself, it shows up at the end of words. Sometimes it just stands by itself. It's a little controversial among linguists. If you read, like in the Journal of Northwest Semitic and stuff, you'll read about this, and they're not 100% agreed. But from the literature that I've read, and from my experience and feeling of it in the text, when the noon shows up by himself, it means exclamation point, right? If he's just by himself with no suffix, it's a way of making the word stronger. It really feels that way in the text. And this is one of the opinions, and this is the one that I go with. It's actually the majority opinion, although not all the scholars agree with this. So there's a little controversial here. We're in advanced territory. But this is the guy that shows up again when you want to attach a suffix. So ni, it's really not from ani, although that's fine if you recognize it that way. If it's a good mnemonic, we also see it as nu when it's us, but it's not from anu or anachnu, meaning us, because it also shows up for nu, meaning him. So you'll see it as him. Okay? So very, very nice. You guys are still with me, right? You still hear me? Oh, very nice. Look, check
Okay, Rab.
check
So
it out.
Rab,
Yomar gave us
is that
example.
paragogic? That
What? Go ahead,
paragogic
go
is part of Rabbi. Is that part of intermediate too?
ahead. That's advanced. I think it's
That
advanced. Right,
the
yeah, yeah.
advance.
You guys are asking
Ah,
advanced stuff now, especially all the stuff with the
okay,
ta'amim,
good
the
enough.
accents, and stuff like that. But look, our class, it's a different. We can flow as you like, right? We're in the text together. We're wrestling in the text together. And remember, my goal for you guys is you're going to be at the level. We're going to be at the same level, and we're just going to be reading together and discussing. Wait, guys, I'm going to show you something I don't understand. Why is this here? Anybody have an idea? And then you're going to say, oh, look, silly rabbi, that's the paragogic noon. Oh, yeah, what was I thinking, right? So we're going to read together and be explained to you, just have a study. This will evolve into just a Bible study class, but where our Bible study is all in Hebrew, right? It's going to be the original. That's it. So that's my goal. You guys are going to be my chavruta, right? Just study partners. We're going to study together in the whole Hebrew, and that's how it's going to work. So, and you're really proving yourself, sticking with it. And don't be discouraged. Those days when we don't have a minion, don't let it discourage you. Okay? And I'm willing to give you guys extra time, actually. You've really been the driving force behind me getting out these aliya yomis and stuff.
Yeah.
I really want to feed you because I see the zeal. I
You-
appreciate it.
You're getting
Go ahead.
choppy, sir. You're getting choppy.
Oh,
You're
it's
getting
choppy?
choppy.
The internet. Adonai, please let the connection be strong. Okay. Let me see which one I'm connected to. I'm currently connected to. Oh, okay. Yeah, I've got the landline connected to Globe, so we should be okay. Okay. By the way, Yomar gave a nice example over here. Genesis 22:11 is what Ate was asking about. There's an example of the hineni with the suluk. Oh, up there it is. Okay. Okay, someone says in private it got clear something. That's great. And let me put that up on the screen since this is great. This is what I want. You guys, the stuff you're interested in, you ask, and we'll go there. We'll go there. Genesis, it can't just be all grammar all the time. You need to enjoy the text and get your curiosity satisfied. Oh, very okay. Yep, very nice. Yep, yep. He names. Okay. Verse 11. There it is. You see it? He named me. That one actually is a full tseri. Look at that. Look at that. Huh. Okay, so I'll try to figure out when it goes to tseri and when it goes to segol. Why that's happening. Very nice example. Okay. Any other questions or comments? Okay, so let's continue with no tame. Yes.
Rabbi,
Yeah. Chime in. Go ahead.
Uh,
Someone said Rabbi.
regarding the word
Wait.
uh,
I hear a lady speaking.
amor,
Can you lean closer to the
yeah.
microphone? I can't hear you so well.
I'm
Good.
sorry. I'm sorry. Go ahead. I'm sorry. Regarding the word amor,
Yes.
um,
Amor.
Yes.
Amor.
Emo. Oh, you muted out. I don't hear you.
that one is amor. Amor. That's oh, hello
Yes,
po.
I hear you now. Yes, you're
Hello.
good now.
Regarding the word amor, it is composite swa, right,
Yes,
sir? Composite
yes.
swa. But
I'll show you.
it's imperative.
Yes, yes.
But when how about sir? How about going to numbers? I'm sorry, it's a long way back. Number
Number
6.
6. Hold on. I'll go there. I'll go there with
Number
you.
6.
Number 6. Hold on. Number 6. What verse? What verse?
Aaron. Number 6, verse 6, chapter 6, verse 23.
23. Okay. Let me make it pop out here. 623. I'll pop it out so we can also can see. Hold on. I need to make my window float. Just a sec.
I'm
No,
sorry
no, no.
about.
Don't be sorry. This is what we're about.
Blame more.
I'm trying to make
Blame
it. Hold
more.
on. Float. Open and floating window. And then I can bring it so everybody can see. Hold on, my Bible program is going slowly right now. Just a sec.
While waiting, my comparison is here on this parasha,
Yeah,
pinecha. It's composite swa with the word emor
yeah.
composite swa. Comparison to compared to number 6, amor. It's kametz gadol. They are both amor. They are both say they're both
Hold on. Okay, you
imperative.
see the screen? Can
But
you tell me which
the other
verse? Here
one
it is.
is
Here we are on
kametz
the
gadol.
screen. Here we are on the screen. Can you guys see that, or I can make it bigger?
Verse.
The Bible program's not responding so well. I'm trying to make it bigger. Here we go. Let's go like this. Okay. Okay, good. Okay, which verse?
Verse 23, sir.
23. I don't. Oh, here we. Oh, Amor. Amor. This one here, right? Amor. Okay,
Yes,
in
sir.
Israel. Amor. Okay. This is actually in the infinitive form. So the infinitive absolute, this actually is kind of a shortcut in Hebrew. So what happens is if you, in poetry or for whatever reason, you don't want to put a word into the imperative, or you don't want to use a noun derived from a verb, or again, you guys are asking advanced questions, we can put it instead in the infinitive absolute, and he is like a wild card in those cases. He's a wild card. It can be a command, it can be an active participle, it can mean like I'm doing this thing, it can be a command, you do the thing, it can be the abstract concept of saying in this case, right? This is the infinitive absolute in all of its glory. He can take on a wild card grammatically aspect and be any of those things and be very loose with the meaning. So yeah, so it's good that you're confused because it's confusing. So that's what's happening here. So it is being used in a way saying say to them, but it is not grammatically an imperative. It is an infinitive absolute behaving like an imperative. You see? Did you follow?
It's infinitive absolute. This
Yes.
one
It's
is
infinitive
infinitive
absolute.
absolute.
Infinitive
Okay, sir.
absolute is weird. Okay, the usual way that we will see infinitive absolute is we will see it next to the exact same verb conjugated. So usually we would expect to see here amor emor, which would mean I will indeed say. So the infinitive absolute, when it comes before the verb, it means indeed, like definitely, right? Like mot yumat, right? The soul who breaks the Sabbath, mot yumat, shall definitely be executed. Okay? The infinitive absolute, it usually adds force. So if it comes after the verb in Hebrew syntax, again, this is advanced, Hebrew syntax is advanced. If it comes after the verb, if I said, yumat, mot, if I put mot afterwards, the infinitive absolute, then it means continuously. So the soul who breaks the Sabbath, they shall continuously be executed. Every day you're executing him. Okay, so it has an ongoing action then usually in Hebrew syntax. Okay, so if I said emor, I will say amor. This one here that you asked about, see the infinitive absolute. This one here, then it will mean I will continuously say. Okay, that's the usual way it functions. But the way it's functioning here is this kind of wild card method, which is not so nice grammatically, but it happens. So he just takes on like a wild card, like if you've ever played, some card game, we say, aces are wild or whatever. That means it can be anything. So in that case, he can't be anything, but he can be a handful of things. Okay? So you're exactly right to call this out. That is amazing. You remember this example? I'm really excited that you did. But he's not an imperative. He's pretending to be an imperative. You understand? Did you get it? It's advanced. It's advanced.
Yes, sir. Copy. Thank
Yeah,
you so
this is
much.
actually Hebrew syntax.
And at the same time, may I also say that anyway, the blessing of the Lord is infinitive absolute
Amen.
also. The blessing of
Amen.
the Lord. Anyway,
So
this
true. So true. Very good. Okay, I'm going to move this off screen, but I'll keep them handy in case you guys have the verses so I can bring it up quickly and easily. Okay, very good. So let's look here now. Go
So
ahead.
Rab,
So
sorry Rab,
Yes.
sorry Rab.
does that imply, teacher, that what you're trying to
Lean
imply,
close to
that
the microphone, Kuya.
continuous
Please
action
repeat. I can't
is
hear.
that the sons of the sons of Aaron are supposed to continually bless the children of
No, because this
Israel.
one is not infinitive absolute. This is actually imperative form. And here, I'll prove
So
it
it's
to you.
not
I'll prove it to you. Ate was actually on
imperative.
it when she recognized the.
Yeah,
You
because
know.
yeah,
For example, how do I command
yeah,
someone to
because yeah,
protect?
I check with the
So what's the
yeah,
word to protect or safeguard? Anybody? Just shout it
yeah,
out. Very good.
shamar,
Okay. And so
shamar,
how do I make the imperative form, the command form?
eshmor.
Shamor.
Shimor.
Shamor.
Sorry.
But I saw what happened with your mind. You memorized that the imperative is the same paradigm as the imperfect. You just add the aleph. Very good. Shamor, just add aleph. Eshmor, you get imperfect, right? That's what happened with your memory. Yeah, yeah,
Eshmor
yeah. That's right.
to convert it into
Yeah, 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 yeah.
imperative. So
Yeah. Very
shamor.
good, very good. I saw that's what you did. Okay, so see, we have a schwa here, guys. And what kind of schwa is that under the imperative? Shamor. Shamor is a command. It means keep, safeguard, protect. Shamor et yom hashabbat v'kadshehu. Keep the Sabbath day and sanctify it. Okay, so what is that schwa? Is it silent or vocal?
That's
vocal.
Vocal, right? Vocal,
Vocal.
because it starts a syllable, right?
it's the beginning
Right,
Vocal.
of the
exactly.
word.
So that is the
Vocal.
paradigm. When you have a verb in the kal binyan, and I want to make it an imperative, I have to put a vocal schwa underneath the first letter, don't I? But when we try to do this with a word who starts
Yep.
with aleph, you cannot have a vocal schwa underneath a guttural, right? Instead, we have what kind of schwa? Composite schwa. So it's following the rule. It's just a bit obfuscated, right? Because we haven't studied pay aleph verbs yet. You guys got it? You understand? But I think Vikoi was commenting on it. I think she recognized the composite schwa, right?
Yeah.
Very good. Okay, so emor is the command. Say. Emor. It's the synonym with daber. Daber is command for PL form. In PL imperative, it's different, right? Daber. In call, it's shemo, emo, etc. Okay, question? Go ahead. You were muted there for a bit.
Yeah. So is this the same? How about in Deuteronomy 5? So we're talking about the Shemor is the imperative. The Shemor is
Yes.
imperative. So how about in Deuteronomy 5? It says in
Okay.
Deuteronomy
Okay.
5:12,
Well, let me pull up.
Shamor. Is it a weird
It
infinitive
is.
absolute?
It is. Yeah, it
Also,
is. It is.
Shamor et
It
yom
is. Yeah, let me show it
sabbat
to everybody. Deuteronomy 5.
Okay.
What's the verse? Do you have the verse on that?
Verse 12,
Okay. Because I
Rab,
want to show it to everybody. That's
Shamor.
good. That's good reference. Okay, I'm going to pull down my window. There we go. Okay, so see what he's saying here, right? Look, Shamor, this is an infinitive absolute. It's appearing. Okay, so exactly right. This is an infinitive absolute behaving like an imperative, right? Because he can behave like an imperative if he wants to. He can behave as an abstract noun if he wants to. He can behave as a pure infinitive absolute, giving you a continual time, or strengthening the verb, meaning definitely you're going to do it. And there's some other little wild card. Oh, he can behave even as an active participle, folks. The infinitive absolute can mean active participle. So in certain contexts, shamor can mean I am keeping, is it, or you are keeping. Again, this is advanced. Please don't get frustrated if you guys have trouble with this. Everybody's asking advanced questions today. That's fine. I want your curiosity satisfied. I don't want to say this is beyond the scope of this course. I used to hate it when teachers would do that. Remember, I had a geometry teacher. She's showing us how to plot in XY axis, and I started asking about Z. I was very curious about 3D. This is beyond the scope of this course. It's like, well, come on, don't stifle the creativity. Right? So these are all great questions. Are you guys following? Infinitive absolute. He's a sneaky guy. He likes to act like other things.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Nice examples. Dr. Berry, your voice is messed up there.
Yeah.
Can you say it again?
Yeah, clarification. That the one in Numbers chapter 6, verse 25, where it says amor.
Okay, let's go.
That's an infinitive absolute, acting like a
Let's go.
imperative.
625, probably. Let me pull it up. 625.
Yeah, the one you took up earlier.
Oh, we showed it earlier. Oh, right. That sister mentioned. Right. Okay. Yes. Yeah, the one she mentioned. Exactly. Same sort of thing. Infinitive absolute, acting as an imperative. He can also act as an active participle. He can also give you the abstract idea of the verb. So if ever you get in trouble, you're researching scripture somewhere on your own, and you got this infinitive absolute, and you really need a noun, he can behave like a noun. He can give you the abstract concept of that verb. Something like, saying or a saying. Amor can mean a saying, right? An utterance, it can mean in context. Okay? Yeah. You just have to be flexible with that guy.
Yeah. So hello?
Yeah, Kolto.
Yeah. How come it didn't say a more? How come it did not say a more?
This is the movement of the spirit. This is the poet's discretion, right? You can, just like in any language, right? In any language, I can express something to you in different, right? For example, sometimes we have the verb in the perfect to express past tense, right? But sometimes the author puts it in imperfect with a Vav conversive, which makes it into a perfect. So why didn't he just do perfect? Right? So it really is just up to the author and the spirits. They can express it how they like, right? There are some times where the answer won't be as ubiquitous as what I'm telling you right now, right? So there are some issues in syntax where there's a reason that we want to use an infinitive absolute for cases of what we call stylistically, it forms an inclusio. It makes it more obvious that one part of the text is anchored to another part. So there is a little bit of a better answer than what I'm telling you. Sometimes there is a real reason, right? Usually it's poetic. The reason is poetic, okay? Shalom. I'm Rabbi Benavrom. If you've enjoyed using the Benavrom method of immersive biblical Hebrew grammar study, please consider becoming a patron. If you will become a patron, this helps me to create more learning content for you and others like you. To become a patron, please visit www.patreon.com/Hebrew Literacy. Toda rabah.